Hello, I'm Doug, and this is Adele. We are co-authors with Scott and Claire Lowridge with the book Spiritual Rhythms for the Enneagram, a handbook for harmony and transformation. And so we're very glad you're joining us on this page today to watch our Facebook Live. We're doing a look at the harmony triads, and today we are looking at the beloved seven. We leave sevens till the end, and they have to endure everybody else's number, or they just pop in for this one. And we're glad and are grateful for the sevens that we know in our lives. And I want to start out by saying, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to add them in now, or if you watch this later, which we hope you will, please send us a little note and say where you're watching from and maybe how you're using the book and the harmony triads. We'd really love to hear. So I think sevens often get a bad rap. They are the sort of the playboys and playgirls of the Enneagram, flitting around, avoiding everything, or they're just the happy-go-lucky, life is great people. And we sort of talk about them struggling to settle down. And it is true that that can be the case with their unhealthy, false self, unresourced seven. But the harmony triad really invites the sevens into some wonderful new experiences.
So rather than having just the word joy describe the sevens, the joyful person, the harmony triad says the flow and the beauty of a seven happens when they integrate their head, their seven space, with their heart space, which is number 4, and with their gut space, which is number 1. So in those cases, joy, 7, going to 4, is not just superficial, it's deep. And at 1, it is stable. Joy is deeply stable. And that is a very different movement and feeling that brings transformation to the sevens, keeps them out of their escape and their gluttony, and says, I do bring joy. But that joy is not just something that is here today and gone tomorrow. It is deeply rooted, and it is not dependent on circumstances being good. It is stable in the midst of anything.
So here's an example. One of the friends that we invited to tell us their story in the book says this: I have not always focused on transformation, and that's often true for sevens because it's work and it's hard. So most of my life I've lived in full throttle 7 without accessing my EQ, the heart intelligence, or my GQ, my gut intelligence. I didn't want to feel the pain, so I dismissed my feelings and gut responses. And this person had to navigate through sexual abuse, for marital dysfunctions and divorce, all kinds of life transitions, but they did that through escape, diversion, and planning something more adventurous. But this lovely 7 said, finally, now I am discovering that my true self 7 is beautiful and not just an escape artist. And that's a wonderful awareness for a 7. And she says, when I flow with my heart 4, the EQ, I bring balance and beauty to my world. And here's the big thing, I can also bear the pain, because that's what 4s can do. They can hold the pain of life. And then she says, when I flow with my gut, GQ, the gut intelligence, 1, I can stand up for myself and what I need, and I can also persevere when it's hard. And integrating heart and gut is changing me and my relationships. And I actually just would add one of the things that a 7 can do. They have all kinds of ideas, but the 1 can bring them wisdom as to what's really going to fit here. And the 4 can help you figure out, how is this really going to impact people, and how are we going to be substantive about it? So look at the way that dynamic flow works for the 741 or the 714, whichever direction they go, it just pulls out the beauty and the giftedness of the 7 for the rest of us.
So we want to encourage you, 7s, the gift that you bring to all of us numbers, your joy, can be such a life-giving thing. But it is a very vulnerable thing if it depends on people and it depends on circumstances. And when you are in the flow of your head, heart, gut triangle, you are in a place of health, moving towards transformation. And it doesn't always have to be so painful, because transformation actually makes relationships and circumstances go better.
So that's the irony, as it is with each of the numbers. When we lay down our false self version of what we think we really want, freedom from pain, in this case for the beloved 7s, or boredom, they actually are able to enter into the hard work of going deeper and stable and wiser. Then the level of joy and the experience of fullness just expands in a wonderful way. So it is, for 7s, a more abundant life at that point. And when you're around 7s who are functioning in this way, I mean, you love the work that you do with them, you have a blast, and you're almost always coming up with something that no one ever thought of before and discovering that it's a wildly great idea. And you're going to have a pretty good time doing it, and you will have a delightful team experience with them. And so that would be one of our invitations to our beloved 7s. We invite you to go deep and strong and stable so that you can experience even more joy. And we would love to hear how some of you have done this as you've been working on your transformation, or maybe challenges you have with that.
So have a wonderful day, 7s, and enjoy the ride, but go with the flow, head, heart, and gut. Bye.
Bye-bye.